Chapter 17 Devon, Wednesday. Your school looks like Buckingham Palace, Terrell says from the seat on his bright yellow bike. I finished with the day's detention, after a whole hour scraping gum off tables in a random classroom, alone. I think Ward separated Chiamaka and me on purpose. I'm not sure why. Maybe he thought we'd try to do some more damage to each other, that I'd slit her throat with the edge of the scraper or something. Ward was so quick to blame us, make us out to be delinquents. If anything, I'd stab him first before I'd even think about doing anything to Chiamaka. In reality, though, someone like Ward could easily crush me like a bug. I can't fight to save my life. Not that he'd believe me if I told him that. When I finally walked out of Nevaeh's, hands raw and achy, Terrell was there, waiting for me outside. He texted me earlier with a mysterious message. I need to tell you something. And now here we are. I'm on one of the swings and he's seated on his bike. I walked and he pedaled all the way to a park nearby. I avoid the big park in my neighborhood, knowing that Dre and his friends hang there sometimes. My heart squeezes at the thought of Dre. Nothing royal about it, though, I say. Isn't it hella white and full of rich people? Sounds a lot like a palace to me. His dimples appear, which force me to smile back. I guess he has a point. Nevaeh is like this weird love child between America and England, from us calling a principal headmaster to saying registration instead of homeroom, to the way the building looks. When I first came here, I thought it was really strange. It took some getting used to. Apart from that, it's hell. Are people still talking about you? I nod. It's all because of aces. People at school don't really focus on me. Troll's eyebrows rise. Aces? I forget aces doesn't mean anything to anyone outside of Nevaeh's. This anonymous texter, they've been bothering me and some girl, Chiamaka, a lot, spreading rumors about us. Terrell nods to himself, like he's trying to figure something out. Is this Chikaka girl black too? He asks. I want to laugh, but I stop myself. Why do I feel so loyal to her this week? It's pissing me off. Yeah. I don't say anything else at first, thinking back to my thoughts in the library about being black and that maybe having something to do with it. And they only bother you guys? I nod slowly, hoping he doesn't go there, to the race thing. Terrell shakes his head, squinting at me. Are you guys blind or what? I sigh, turning away a little. What? Are there any other black people at your school? I suspect this question is more rhetorical than not, but I still shake my head. So, you go to a white school in the white part of town where bad things are happening to the only black students. He starts, like he's decoding a really complex math problem. I want to interject and debunk his theory, but I can't bring myself to speak. I shiver as a gust of wind blows my way. I think it's racism, Terrell looks at me straight. Not all of them are bad, Terrell. And it's true. I may not be friends with any of the Nevaeh students, but most of them have been nice enough over the years. He climbs off his bike and takes a seat on the swing next to me. Name 3 good people there, and I don't mean decent, I mean really good. I'm not that social, so my circle really only ever included myself and Jack at school. Besides him, everyone else is okay, decent, good. No, everyone else is good. My music teacher, Mr. Taylor, Jack, and this guy Daniel. Jack, as in the friend who abandoned you? I forgot I texted Terrell about that. He's from our area. He has family to think about. He's just protecting himself while all those texts come out. They can hurt him too. And I've known Jack practically all my entire life. If he was racist, why would he be my friend or pretend to care about me? It doesn't make any sense. Terrell smiles at that. I sense that it has nothing to do with his family. What does he mean by that? Who's Daniel? He continues, like he's not convinced by what I'm saying. This popular guy at school. He's weird and annoying, but nice, I guess. And Mr. Taylor? I'm confident in him as an example of a good white person I know. He's the best music teacher I've ever had. Lets me stay in the practice room all day making music, and he really wants me to get in Juilliard. Does he now? Terrell asks, voice dripping with sarcasm. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. You sound like you don't believe it. He shrugs, nudging me. I don't trust white people like you do. I obviously don't think they're all murderers, but I think they're all racist. All? I say, eyebrows raised. It sounds wild, I know, but racism is a spectrum, and they all participate in it in some way. They don't all have to be white hoods or call us mean things. I know that. But racism isn't just about that. It's not about being nice or mean, or good versus bad. It's bigger than that. We're all in this bubble being affected by the past. The moment they decided they got to be white and have all the power, and we got to be black and be at the bottom, everything changed. If we can't talk about it honestly, and I mean really talk about it, then what's the point? I read some Malcolm X last year, and I agree with him. Some might even treat you good, like an owner might treat a pet. That's wild, I say. Yeah, it is. I think anyone can be nice, but it's not about being nice. You can't escape a history like that and not be affected. Us blacks, we start hating ourselves, and then whites start thinking they're all better than us. Even if they aren't thinking it constantly, it's in there somewhere. I find myself smiling a little. He looks like one of those eccentric scientists after he explained a theory. His hair is wild too, sticking up in all directions. I don't know if I fully agree with him. I don't know if I want to fully agree with him. It's a sad way to look at things. You sound like someone who should go to college, I tell him. He's looked like he'd major in politics or some other social science, writing articles and pissing people off whenever he speaks. World's not ideal, he reminds me. And if it was, I ask, turning on the swing to look at him now. If it was, a lot of shit would be different. He looks at me. I might go to college, major in business or something. I might do well and get out of here. I might do dangerous things like kiss boys I like and do all the things I've wanted to do. But the world isn't ideal, so why poison my mind with thoughts that won't make a difference? I get that. Dreaming can be dangerous. It's hard to dream in a neighborhood like ours. Ma always told me to dream, though, that the sky was my limit. I'm scared to dream too high, in case I end up falling flat on my face. But I still do it. It hurts to dream, but I dream regardless. Ma has tried to create this ideal world for me. Despite my scholarship, she still spends so much on the school, hoping a good college takes a chance on me. But what if none of that happens? What if I fail? Or get expelled? What if ACEs ruins everything? What if I just get stuck here, disappointing her, wasting her time and money for nothing? Darrell's hands are on my shoulders, and they wrap around me as I try to breathe. Sorry, I was just overthinking. Worried about my ma and everything, I say, wiping my eyes. Is she okay? I nod. I just worry about not getting into college, her wasting her money on me for nothing. It's not wasted on you, no matter what happens. I get worrying about money, though. My sister's sick right now and money's tight. We can't help her with medical bills, so I get it. But don't let it take up too much space or make you feel sad. His sister is sick. I'm sorry about your sister. Terrell looks away. No need to be sorry. Let's do something else. I nod, taken aback by his abruptness. I should ask him if he's okay. I feel like all I do is talk about myself, never check to see if anything is bothering him. I need to be a better friend to Terrell. He's been so nice to me. Before I can say anything more, he's up and running toward the jungle gym. I push myself off the swing, which creaks as I stand, and follow him. Terrell climbs the neon green steps and crawls into the dark purple tube on top and doesn't come out. I wait. And I wait. What if he's stuck? I survey the tube again. He seems to fit fine when he was going in. Terrell? I called out. No reply. I tiptoe, trying to see into the tube, but it curves up, blocking my vision. I sigh, moving to climb the steps slowly. My body still hasn't fully recovered from when those boys beat me up. Plus, I'm pretty sure this was made for children, and I don't want Ma to be charged money she doesn't have for my senselessness if I break it. When I get to the top, I lean into the tube and I see Terrell there, seated with his head ducked like he was waiting for me. Took you long enough, he says. So he was waiting for me. I'm not coming in there, I tell him, trying to sound serious despite the smile I'm holding back. Okay, I'll just sit in here until you do. That's cool with me. He stares at me, and me at him. I sit down, resting my back against the pole by the steps. It's pretty cold out, he says. Really? I can't feel it. Sure about that? Very sure. Okay, if you're very sure. He moves toward the entrance of the tube, climbing out and sitting on the slightly lifted entryway. I think I can convince you to come inside, he tells me, running his hand over his miniature dreads. I raise my eyebrows at his confidence. How? He smiles at me, eyes crinkling in the corners and dimples defined as he reaches into his jean pockets and takes his hand out with his fist closed. Come closer and I'll show you what's in my hand. Trust me, you'll come in when you see it. I'm not sure what could convince me to do that, but I move forward, staring at the gaps between his fingers, hoping to see a glimpse of whatever is hidden in there. I'm closer. Open it. He looks ready to laugh. I watch his hand as it opens, revealing nothing. I stare at his empty palm and then back up at him. You're so full of shit, I say, which only makes his grin wider. And rice, he says, before moving back to the tube. I pretend to hesitate before following him in, sitting closer to the entrance, still a bit worried about I'll break it. It's not as dark as in the tube as I thought it would be, but is smaller than I expected. I have to slide down slightly in order to fit. Terrell, on the other hand, has to duck, seeing he's taller. When I'm in, he moves closer to me, hitting his head, which makes me snort. There's a shimmer in his hoodie that catches my eye. Metallic green alien print in the middle of the hoodie. It's weird. The alien kind of looks like him. Told you I'd convince you to come in, he said in a low voice. I came in because I wanted to, I say, which isn't entirely true. A part of me probably likes being in such close proximity to Terrell. Besides, he was right. It was kind of cold outside the tube. Who's full of shit now, he says. Still you, I tell him, shivering again. We fall into a comfortable silence. I try not to think about bad things, like aces or college or Andre. I try not to think about how, this time 2 weeks ago, I wasn't worried about being kicked out of school. I was probably at Dre's, happy. Instead, I block those thoughts. I think I've cried in front of Terrell one too many times today. I glance at him. He's resting his chin on one of his knees now, looking up at me. When he catches me staring, he smiles. Are you cold? He asks. Kinda, I finally admit. He sits up, banging his head once again, which causes him to swear under his breath. I watch with warm cheeks as he pulls his hoodie off and tosses it to me. Wear this, he says. I take the hoodie, pulling it over my school shirt and tie. It's warm and comfortable and feels like I have a big blanket wrapped around me. Thank you. No problem. I move a little closer, away from the cold entrance. You know what's weird? Terrell says softly. What? I'm claustrophobic, he whispers. I furrow my eyes together. Then why did you want to come in here? Didn't think it through, he says, looking a little anxious. I watch him lie back, sticking his head out the other end of the tube. It kind of reminds me of the way dogs stick their heads out the car windows. Freedom, he says with an exaggerated tone. Like earlier, when I tried to ignore all the bad things, now I try to ignore the exposed skin on Terrell's torso. I focus on the ceiling of the tube. Terrell decides he has had enough air and sits up, and I can focus on his face again. I notice some leaves stuck in his dreads now, and he burst out laughing. You have leaves in your hair, I tell him. He reaches up and tries to brush them off to no avail, and so I reach forward and help. You're good now, I say, pulling away. Terrell looks at me and I swallow. His eyes kind of remind me of the way Dre used to look at me just before we'd kiss or touch or do more than that. I feel myself placing my hand on Terrell's face, leaning in close. Something tells me to pull away, but then I feel Terrell wrap his arms around me and I ignore my brain and I kiss him. I don't expect Terrell to kiss me back as quickly as he does, like he was waiting for it. For a few moments, I forget that we're in the small purple tube. Everything's quiet. I feel shaky. My heart won't stop ringing. In the movies, kissings are all wrong. It's not fireworks or loud explosions. I used to think that every time I'd kiss a boy, the world would blow up. With Dre, kissing him felt like I was floating gently across a small cold lake. Right now, it feels like I'm submerged in hot water, drifting deeper and deeper toward the bottom of the ocean. I feel like I'm drowning, which is usually a feeling that makes me feel calm, but right now, I pull away, breaking the kiss. I need to leave. I turn, scrambling out of the tube. I feel so warm, but I don't stop and think. I start climbing down the steps of the jungle gym. What I think is the last step isn't, and I tumble to the ground. Fuck, I whisper. Are you okay? Terrell says. I look back, a little horrified as his head pops out of the tube. I forgot something at home, I say, probably looking and sounding a mess. Terrell says something, but I don't catch it. I just run. Thursday. Today, I don't care about the ogling. I need to get my composition sorted and finalized so that I can record it before the college application opens. I need it to be perfect. So perfect it wows the admissions people, and they give me the scholarship I need to get out of here. I rush up the stairs to the music classroom. Mr. Richards, Mr. Tiller says as I enter, like he's been expecting me, which he probably has, since I'm in here a lot. It's weird, though. He usually calls me Devon. Morning, Mr. Taylor. I just wanted to work on the final section of my admissions piece for a little while today. That's fine, he smiles. Before you start, I just want to address a concern I have. A concern? I don't normally listen to rumors, but I heard something I wanted to check in with you. Mr. Taylor pauses, hesitant, like he's not sure how to phrase the next part of his sentence. My heart is in my throat. I swear if it's about Scotty, I'll die. People are saying that you've been involved in drug transportation? Mr. Taylor looks confused, like I'm the last person he assumed would be involved in any of that. My stomach flips. I haven't, I lie. He nods. I just want to let you know, colleges are quite harsh about that sort of thing. I understand, I say, feeling sick. He looks at me like he can see straight through me and my lie. Then he turns away. Good. It would be a shame if something like that harmed your chances. We wouldn't want that to happen to one of our most promising students. I nod, feeling bad for lying. What other choice do I have? I haven't dealt in nearly 2 weeks, for the obvious reason. The same reason that won't answer my calls or texts. I miss the familiar sound of the wind chime text tone on my phone. I customized it so that I would know when Dre was texting, and not to someone else. I pushed him back into the corner of my mind, and head to my usual seat at the back, blinking away the wetness in my eyes. I don't want to think about him right now. I take a breath. Then I close my eyes and drown. Even though I didn't tell him to come, I'm not surprised to see Terrell outside in Vegas after detention again. I didn't see Chimaka today either, but I bet she rushed out as soon as she finished. I knew I'd have to talk to Terrell eventually about what happened yesterday in the park, but I didn't think it would be this soon. What am I even going to say to him? Sorry for kissing you. I'm not over Dre, and I probably did it because I missed him. I pretend to check a message on my phone, heart beating fast, knowing he's waiting for me to come out. After a few moments of aimless scrolling, I pocket my phone and walk down the steps towards him. I approach the gates and see him clearly, on his bike waiting, in a huge gray hoodie and sweats. Hey, he says, staring at me. I feel naked under his gaze. I think that's Terrell's superpower, making me nervous. I wonder how long he's been out here. Just as he says, Are you okay? I'm saying, I'm sorry. For what? He asks. Kissing you, then running away. I just broke up with my boyfriend on Friday. I wasn't thinking, and I probably made things really weird. I'm sorry. Terrell looks at me, then down at his hoodie, which I'm wearing again. It's warmer than any hoodie I own. Can I walk you home? He asks. I wasn't expecting him to say that, but I nod anyway. We start walking, Terrell dragging the bright yellow contraption he calls a bike along as I stroll next to him. Does he go to your school or something? The ex, I mean. Terrell asks suddenly. No. I look at Terrell now. He's just a guy from our neighborhood. What's his name? I might know him. I hesitate. Andre Johnson. Terrell goes quiet again. So he was the one who told them to do that to you? I shake my head. He got angry because the messages Ace was sending were making people start to suspect things about us, so he broke up with me. You don't deserve to be treated like that. I doubt Dre told him to. Terrell shakes his head. And so what if he didn't? Did he check on you? It's not easy for him. He's had a hard life, I say, even though I doubt it will make a difference in Terrell's mind. We've all had fucking hard lives. Doesn't mean I'm going to be an asshole about it. He has a boss who'd hurt him. So if not him, you? Andre can sit there and be okay with them beating you, just because he doesn't want to deal with it himself. What a fucking pussy, Terrell says angrily. I've known him for years, okay? Maybe doing the right thing is easy for others, but he's always messing up and regretting it later. I don't want to be that person who makes excuses for people's shitty behavior, but we all make bad decisions. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Talk about Dre hurts too much right now, like my heart's been stung by a wasp. Terrell looks at me as if I'm unstable. Then he looks away. Has he texted you since? That question feels more rhetorical than anything. I haven't heard wind chimes for days. Yes, I lie. That's good, then. I nod. Think you're going to get back together? He asks, face a little pained. I've been asking myself the same question. Dre seemed pretty serious about not wanting to date me anymore. I swallow a lump that knots in my throat. No, I don't think so. Andre's like family. I want to be his friend more than anything. Andre and I have been friends since he was 12 and I was 11. I've known him for almost 7 years, though we only started dating last year. Before any of this, Andre was a friend, a really good one. On days like this, I wish we'd just stayed friends, so that I could still speak to him when things weren't all broken and weird. The silence grows a little awkward as we walk on. Terrell probably thinks I'm pathetic. You know, he starts. You're like, really fast. What? He smiles, a dimple appearing. Yesterday, when you ran away from me, you should consider being an Olympic runner if you ever change your mind about music. I push him and he laughs. Shut up, I say, my face growing hotter. I'm going to start calling you quick, Terrell says, looking very impressed with themselves. Well, I'm going to start calling you shit talker, I reply. I'm cool with that. We get to my place and Terrell walks me to my door. I feel bad for not inviting him in. I never invite anyone in. I'm a bit embarrassed about the way my house looks inside, and scared he'll judge me, even though I know he probably won't. Thanks for walking me home, and sorry again for yesterday. I say the last part quietly. I'm irresistible, so I get it, Terrell says. Sure, I say. There's a pause, and then he hugs me. I don't think I've been hugged this much by a friend, ever. I have to admit, I like Terrell's goodbye hugs. They always feel nice and warm. Later, when I'm in my room, as my brothers sleep and the world is quiet, I think about how nice it is to have someone who doesn't treat me like a burden. I'd forgotten what that felt like. Friday. Last night, while I slept, the melody seized my dreams and took over. It played on loop until I woke up, jumped out of bed, and rushed to school as fast as I could. I finally know what my audition piece should sound like. I'm so early that there are only a handful of people in the hallway as I rush in. I climb the stairs, pushing my way through the door of the music room. I look around the classroom. Mr. Taylor hasn't even arrived yet, much to my sort of relief. I really want to be alone right now. No distractions. I sit at my desk, plug in the keyboard, watching it come alive with its usual zap sound, and then I close my eyes. I decide to not use my headphones, since nobody else is in here. I picture the sea, and the usual images filter through. Me underwater, sinking, and then suddenly I'm on the beach. People are laughing and running across the sand. The sun is blinding. I run toward the water again to escape it, but bare arms trap me, holding me back from the sea. I struggle, but they won't budge. I turn to look at who it is. My eyes flash open as I stumble off my chair, chest heaving. I look up and Jack is standing over me. What the fuck, Jack? What the fuck? The fuck is I thought you were taking care of it. Taking care of what? Everything Jack has a problem with is solved. Dre already broke up with me. His brothers are safe. What the fuck is there to take care of? He doesn't even hang out with me anymore. I did. Taking care of it is lying low. Taking care of it is not fucking Terrell McCreeperson from middle school. I swear my heart stops beating. I can't handle any more pictures or videos. I want to save my life without having to constantly look over my shoulder. You know Terrell? I manage. Jack shakes his head in disbelief at me. Of course I do. My brother told me he saw you guys walking home together. Everyone knows Terrell's a fucking weirdo. I didn't know he existed until last Friday. My insides feel shaky and unstable. At least that's his brothers telling him and not a school-wide blast about me. You do this to yourself, Devon. You do this all to yourself. We studied. We got into this place. We both had the chance to be normal, to leave middle school habits in middle school. But nah, you come here and you act as weird as Terrell. You deserve everything coming to you. Jack moves back. Have a nice life, Devon. He spits. Then he leaves. I forget about trying to attempt the piece again. Just stayed seated on the ground and let my body do it at once. I don't hold back. I don't shove things in the corners or boxes. I can't anymore. I think about Ma and how she's struggling and how I'm so fucking helpless. How I need to do well and get a job and get a scholarship and get into college. I think about Dre and how he said he loved me, then dumped me, like love doesn't mean anything. I think about how I love him so much it hurts, and how I can't make him drop everything for me like I would for him. I think about Jack and how, despite the fact that we've been best friends for years, done everything together, despite the fact that I was there for him and where he lost his parents, like so many of us do, despite the fact that he told me he'd always have my back when they took my dad away, as much as he doesn't want to admit it, he's always hated this part of me. I remember when I first told Jack I like guys, and the pained expression on his face. I remember the way he handed me his game controller and said he needed to go and check on the burgers in the oven. I remember feeling so shitty, but taking on the controller and finishing the level he was on and not bringing it up again. Jack hated it when I started dating Scotty. He was never happy, and I told myself it was because Scotty was a dick, not because he had a dick. Jack would quote-unquote joke about girls he knew with short haircuts and muscled arms who I could date, like who I'm attracted to is as trivial as appearance. And he would flinch when I spoke about Dre. And on top of everything, there's Aces, this person, or people, hell-bent on ruining my life. I feel so lost. Maybe I'm just cursed or broken. Maybe this is unfixable. I keep sniffing as my nose blocks. God, I hate crying. I can't breathe, and the more I gasp, the more tears fall, the more my chest hurts and squeezes, the more I want to leave this place and never come back.